Welcome back to another episode of Rock Boys Football. Dill, fire me up for this matchup. Oklahoma heading on the road to play Alabama. And let's just put this matchup very, very simply. This is one of the best quarterbacks in the country, and quite frankly, one of the best offenses in the country, going up against one of the best defenses in the country. And there is a very obvious storyline here. Ty Simpson's been awesome. He's been specifically awesome when he's been able to be clean in the pocket. When Ty Simpson has faced pressure at times in 2025, those numbers drop significantly. Well, I'm looking at Oklahoma. I'm looking at an Oklahoma defense that is extremely aggressive, that is sacking the quarterback nearly 11% of dropbacks. Can Oklahoma heat Ty Simpson up? Like, what version of Ty Simpson do you get in this football game if Oklahoma can manufacture some pressure? Massive storyline, probably going to determine the outcome in this football game. But there are plenty of storylines to dive into. Fired up to get into it. Before we do, and as always, most importantly, let it rip in the comment section. Oklahoma fans, Alabama fans, appreciate you guys. These preview and prediction episodes, especially for a game of this magnitude, have been a blast for the boys. And the amount of sport's been amazing. If y'all do enjoy the content, consider subscribing to the channel. Call your shot in the comment section. Dill, without further ado, I'm going to put you on the tee box. Let's start with the main event, baby. Alabama offense, Oklahoma defense. Biggest storylines in this football game to you?
It's probably does Alabama's lack of rushing attack catch up with them? Because man, moments against the better defenses, like maybe Missouri, maybe against South Carolina, where you certainly have felt like they've been in too many unadvantageous down and distances.
Yeah.
Like it slowed Alabama down to an extent. Now they've always been able to hit big plays, so it's never really like fully put a lid on them. But against this type of defense, does that rear its ugly head, if you will, a little bit? Because I frankly don't see a ton of an avenue for Alabama to run the ball. Like I don't know what they've done all year makes me think they'll do it against Oklahoma, who obviously is elite against the run.
Yeah, I mean, that's the other storyline. Is like Alabama's been struggling to run the football. Like, heck, they've almost stopped doing it. They only run the football 46% of snaps. That's 111th in the country. They're only running the football for 3.6 yards per carry. That's 108th, right? That run game has not been present for Alabama. Then you look on the flip side,
because like they protected the quarterback really well against pretty good defenses. Like again, South Carolina was the one game where I felt like they were really struggling a little bit. And again, their offense certainly stalled out for chunks of that game. That's what I think you're looking at. Like again, Oklahoma to me probably the best front they've played all year. Maybe right up there with Missouri, who
I think is better.
Did a good job against. But like that's pretty much the matchup to me. Like, can they deal with that, not being able to run the ball and then dealing with that pressure that I think will come?
Because you feel like, because you look at Oklahoma, they're only giving up 2.3 yards per carry. So it's the number one. Look, if you're looking to get your rushing attack back on track, doing it against Oklahoma probably ain't the spot to do it, right? And so if you become one-dimensional, it's not where you want to be against this Oklahoma defense. Especially, I mean, here's the storyline with the rushing attack is it's not like Alabama needs to run the football 40, 50 times in this game. It's not like they need to run the football for 200 yards on the ground, but you have to have some sort of balance, because if you're sitting in these obvious passing situations routinely, if you become one-dimensional on offense, that's when Brent Venables does his best work, man, because ain't nobody dials up the blitz packages better than BV. And he has 2 weeks to prepare for this one, Dill. They were on bye last week. Here's what makes Oklahoma's pass rush so special. And what I'm kind of looking for here is, look, Caden Proctor's been that guy. Caden Proctor looks like the best tackle in the country right now.
Looking for him, he's playing like elite. He's taken a monster step forward at that right. I think he's been awesome this year.
But here's the thing. Oklahoma, it comes from every spot. Like there are so many teams, especially in this conference, that are really one-dimensional when it comes to getting after the passer. You look at South Carolina, it's Dylan Stewart. If it's not Dylan Stewart, who else is killing you, right? I mean, Oklahoma's got everybody. And now our Mason Thomas's availability is a big deal in this game, right? As a first-round NFL draft pick coming off the edge. And they also have David Stone and Grayson Halton, who have emerged as one of the better pass rushing duos on the inside. David Stone has taken monster steps in 2025. I mean, you also have backers who are very, very good at getting after it. And Dill, you saw at times Alabama struggle to pick up the blitz packages from Blake Baker last night against LSU. Well, guess what? You're going to see the same damn thing against Oklahoma. In fact, they'll
One,
probably be
one
a little
thing
bit
I
more
do
aggressive.
like about what Alabama's been able to do a little bit against, especially again, being a team that they know, I feel like they're going to face a fair amount of pressure in
Sure.
some blitzing because of their inability to run it.
Yep.
I think you're getting a little bit more from the tight end spot, like Caleb
Yeah.
emerging a bit. Josh Cuevas has been pretty steady, but
Yep.
I like the fact that they've been able to get some stuff going because, again, their running backs not really running the ball well, also not really big time pass catching threats. I think
Yeah.
having some emergence in that tight end spot really kind of felt like it helped at times against that LSU pass.
Yeah, safety blankets, right? Like get the ball out quick and kind of mitigate some of the blitz packages you'll see. Totally agree. And this might be a game where like Ty Simpson's got to be an elevator here, right? Like when you are, how well does Ty Simpson get himself out of trouble? Because there will be a lot of times where you have to do that. How good can you be in those
Well, see, I
situations?
think what's bigger for Ty Simpson, like, yeah, that matters. It certainly mattered a lot against Ole Miss for that Oklahoma team. Like, they really
Yeah,
struggled to deal
with
with the
Trinidad.
legs of
Agreed.
Trinidad Chambliss, and
Yeah,
especially on like those third and long situations. Oklahoma wins that game if they're not so bad on third and longs. Ty Simpson, very good athlete, not necessarily going to be a guy who uses his legs a ton, but that will be something you look for. Can he
yeah,
punish Oklahoma if they really want to get aggressive? I think the much bigger storyline is when he gets his shots, is he going to hit them? Because Oklahoma, like there's
yeah,
been some teams who've
yeah.
had shots to hit. Like
Yep,
you look at that Auburn game, Auburn
yep,
had some plays, and again, not a ton of them,
yep.
but I do think when they have
Yeah.
them, in Alabama, to their credit, when they have their shots, they've been hitting them like the best team in the country. I think.
But there's been times where Ty Simpson's missed it. That is a good point with how aggressive. We talk about the blitz packages that Brent Venables is going to bring. Well, guess what? You can't just be. You're going to give that deeper third up a little bit. Can Ty Simpson and these Alabama wide
Like
receivers take
Chambliss,
advantage?
he hit him. He hit him pretty much every time in that Ole Miss game. That's why that
Jackson Arnold
offense
did it.
Jackson Arnold did not hit him. Where's
Yep,
like I guess where's Ty Simpson going to fall? And again, I think
yep.
if you're an Alabama fan, you feel pretty good about Ty Simpson, his ability to hit that deep ball. That throw at a lot. Was it Lottie Brooks last night? Like was one of the better throws I've
I
seen.
mean, Ty Simpson has made. If you were to rank like the 20 best throws I've seen on the year, Ty Simpson probably got like 5 of them. Like he's been some legitimate NFL throws this kid's made. Also, like the last thing, and we'll move on. Like Cortland Guillory, true freshman cornerback, is going to be one-on-one with some of the best wide receivers in the country. He's continued to hold up. Can he hold up in this game? You got Eli Bowen back on the other side. Like there's going to be some one-on-one matchups. Who's winning? Oklahoma's DBs, Bama's wide receivers. All right, let's flip it. Oklahoma offense. It's very simple. What version of John Mateer do you get is where you start, right? I mean, the version of John Mateer that we saw before the injury was Heisman caliber quarterback play. The version that we've seen since his return has not been very good. Now, you saw some flashes of it, you might say, in the second half against Tennessee, but it hasn't been as consistent as you would like. You get the sense that if Oklahoma wants to win this game, John Mateer has to get back to September John Mateer.
And
Now,
I don't think you worry too much about this game being taken over by this Alabama defensive line. And that's been a
ooh,
progress because Oklahoma's offensive line been looking better, especially that left side. I thought they played really well against Tennessee. And honestly, by and large, I thought that was going to be a tough matchup. I thought they hung tough for the most part. I do want like that is probably one thing if I'm an Oklahoma fan I look forward to maybe a little bit is this is not a good pass rushing unit.
well, can I push? I will say this. Do I think Alabama has the vintage pass rushing presence that they had 5 years ago? No. Like that would be foolish for me to make that statement. The emergence of Yanza Pierre has
Yeah,
fundamentally changed the way I've looked at this Alabama defense. He's been awesome. I mean, he's played himself into that NFL draft conversation, and now the conversation is, what's this Oklahoma offensive line number one look like? Like there is a real chance here that Oklahoma trots out onto the football field with 2 true freshman tackles. Mike Fasusi at the left side, Ryan Foji on the right side, playing on the road in this kind of environment. Ryan Denny Stadium, how do those tackles manage that? Okay, because though we saw this, Oregon had to start a young tackle on the road against Iowa, but he was lost, right? Now, Fasusi and Foji have played well. How do they look in this kind of environment against a pass rusher like Yanza Pierre? Certainly a storyline. What about Oklahoma's ability to run the football? Like, that's been kind of the way if you want to get at Alabama, run the football, right? Alabama's given up 4.3 yards per carry. That's 74th in the country. Xavier Robinson's been kind of a revelation for Dill. You get the sense that Oklahoma has to have some sort of success running the football if they want to go on the road and win.
And again, I don't think it's the most like imposing defense against the run. So I feel like
Yes.
Oklahoma's got a pretty decent shot to do it. You know who else say I kind of wonder if we'll see anything from is Jaden Ott. I know we haven't seen a thing from him
Why would you?
because he's a pass catcher, and I do look.
The ship
I
sailed,
wouldn't
man.
hate that matchup against those linebackers. I don't love what they do in pass coverage. Again, I think you love what you have at the tight end spot if you're Oklahoma. You've gotten a ton from Jaron Kanik.
Yeah.
I do think a really good pass catching running back would be like again, we saw it. We saw it against that Florida State game. Like we saw the running backs be able to hit some big plays out of the backfield. It's just like another dynamic that I think would be really interesting if Oklahoma could unlock it. Again, he hasn't stepped foot on the field. I don't really know if I
sailed, man.
do it, but it'd be really interesting to see if Oklahoma could get something from that running back spot out of the backfield. I think it could be a good weapon in this game.
How about another storyline is, you made me think about it, go back to some of the stuff Florida State did that worked. Like Isaiah Satang and Deion Burks on the perimeter, some of that end around stuff that Florida State whipped Alabama with back in September. Can Oklahoma get to that? How this feels like a game where John Mateer's legs are going to have to be used a decent amount, right? How does that look? How does Alabama deal with that? Yeah. Last thing I'll say, yards after the catch. Like when I feel like Oklahoma's playing their best, John Mateer's getting the ball out quick, and you're getting it to Satang in space and Deion Burks in space and letting them make people miss.
You got to be able to get off the slot cornerback in this game because I think the boundary is.
I don't know if you're winning on the outside.
I don't see an avenue to getting anything against these boundary corners, especially with Dejon Lee emerging as like a true freshman All-American and then some a little bit. I don't really see a great matchup on the boundary. You got to be elite in the slot position, whether it's Burks, whether it's Satania, whoever is there.
Kanik.
That's been a position Alabama's been still kind of trying to figure out who's going to be the guy.
Yeah.
I mean, Red Morgan lately has kind of been the guy they've been going with, but it's not been a position they've gotten a ton of consistency on in an otherwise really good secondary.
That's fair. Like that's the matchup. You're probably not trying to attack Dejon Lee and Xavier Brown. We good on that if you're Oklahoma. Those guys are nails. All right, let's get into the pick here. Oklahoma on the road, 7.5-point dogs. I'll put you on the T-box first. Who you got?
I just feel like this is a big spread. I kind of like this matchup for Oklahoma. I think their defense can be a problem in this game.
Yeah.
Again, just being able to heat Ty Simpson up because, again, just that lack of rushing attack still concerns me. And again, at this point, Alabama, I just wonder, does it matter? Because it hasn't mattered against really good defenses. I do think it maybe matters.
But
I don't love Oklahoma to win it. I would have thought this would be a 3.5-point spread. That would have been my kind of gut.
Oh, God, you would be out of your mind if Oklahoma. I mean, at Alabama, you weren't getting 3.5 points, pal. No shot. I'll go and look. Do I feel good about betting against this Alabama team right now? Absolutely not. I'm going to take Oklahoma for a very similar thing you said, and this is a matchup game. Right? I am very interested to see, and Dill, I'll say this, if Alabama goes out there and that passing attack just carves it up, you're feeling great if you're an Alabama fan. But I'm going to take Oklahoma because I think this is one of those games where that lack of a rushing attack and having to be a little too one-dimensional throwing the football might get you in trouble against an Oklahoma team that can get after you in so many different ways in the pass rush. Boys are both on Oklahoma. Probably a bad sign. We'll cut it there. Appreciate you guys rocking with it. If y'all do enjoy the content, consider subscribing to the channel, and we'll talk to y'all later. Peace.